The MLS playoffs are here, and after a long and adversity-filled season, the New York Red Bulls are going to take on FC Cincinnati this Saturday at Red Bull Arena. Joining me now is the host of the Seeing Red podcast, Mark Fishkin. Now, Mark, let's dive right into it because the Red Bulls had a difficult middle portion of the season, and considering that they are in the latter portions of a rebuild, is making the playoffs this season and securing a home game just accomplishment enough?
Well, yeah, making the playoffs for the 13th straight year and hosting a playoff game for the first time since 2018, both of those are pretty massive accomplishments. But, Red Bull fans and Metro Stars fans before them, they've been waiting for 27 years to win a cup, so they might as well get it done this year. Now, few pundits or Red Bull fans predicted a return to the postseason this year, and by all measures, the team has outperformed expectations. At no time during the season were the Red Bulls lower than fifth on the Eastern table. And given this is the youngest team in MLS, that's a big deal and a huge feather in the cap of head coach Gerhard Struber.
All right. They pushed through this season, but they got to get through Brenner, Cincy's forward, who scored a hat trick on deadline day. What about Cincy worries you the most?
Well, first of all, Brenner's hat trick came against DC United, and they finished at the bottom of the entire league. So not to take anything away from him, they were eliminated, really not a ton of competition. But FCC has an attacking trio of Brenner, Brandon Vasquez, and Luis Acosta, and they're a tough challenge for any defense. Given the Red Bulls like to play their game in the attacking third, New York's going to have to blow up any Cincinnati counterattacks before they begin. And that's up to homegrown team Daniel Edelman and former FCC #1 draft pick Frankie Amaya to get the job done. But in both games against FCC in the regular season, Cincinnati only got one goal in each match. So they're going to need another strong defensive effort if they want to advance.
Yeah, you're talking about that trio. That's 46 combined goals on the season between the three, and they're the fourth highest scoring team within the MLS. But the Red Bulls do have a strong defensive unit. So we briefly talked about securing a home game in the playoffs, but is that actually an advantage considering New York only won 6 of 17 at RBA?
Yeah, it was a tough season for the Red Bulls at home for sure. But keep in mind, they went 3-1-1 at Red Bull Arena over their last 5 home games.
Okay.
Now, Gerhard Struber is doing something really interesting that he started doing in the middle of the year when the home results weren't coming. And that's what's checking his team into a local hotel the night before the match, kind of give it that road game feel, even though they're playing at home. And of course, a big crowd on Saturday at noon at Red Bull Arena won't hurt if New York is going to get the job done.
All right, plain and simple. How does New York win this game?
All right, so the Red Bulls are going to advance to the Eastern Conference semis in a date with the Philadelphia Union if 3 things happen. First, they're going to get out there and score first. New York went 11-3-2 this year in the regular season when getting on the score sheet first, and 6 times they got a goal in the first 15 minutes of matches. Second, getting Manuel in the mix. New York strikers have struggled to find the net this season, but Elias Manuel, young Brazilian forward on loan from Grêmio, scored twice in the season-ending game against Charlotte. And one of those goals was up for MLS Goal of the Week. So if he can continue his form, he could carry the Red Bulls deep into the playoffs. And lastly, containing Lucho Acosta, Cincinnati's number 10 led MLS in assists this year with 9. So if New York can slow down the Argentine, they've got a great shot of moving ahead in the playoffs.
Ooh, that's a lot there, Mark, but I love the breakdown. And you guys, make sure you check out the Seeing Red podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again for joining us.